Good morning. Good morning. English, Valentin English and La Morena. La Morena, the best way to learn any language. Today we have a very interesting topic to talk about. And what is it, Morena?
We are going to talk about fluency when learning a language. What is fluency?
Good. Well, I think that's a very interesting topic because, well, I don't know what fluency is. I don't even know. I know that I know how to speak English, but what's fluency? Would you like to explain that to me, please?
Well, actually, it is a very interesting topic because if you ask different people what is fluency, you're going to get different answers. Everyone seems to have their own opinion about what is fluency. When are you fluent in a language? At what point? So if you ask certain people, some people believe that, well, you're fluent when you can speak without making mistakes. Some people think, oh, you're fluent when you're able to have long conversations with people. Some people think you're fluent when you're just able to completely think in a language. So different people have different ideas about what fluency is. So what is your opinion? When are you fluent in a language? And I'm asking you because you have learned so many different languages. So
Well, well,
I want to know your opinion.
my personal opinion, I think the word fluent comes from flowing, flowing like water, flowing like water. And I think being fluent in a language, it doesn't mean that you know 5,000, 10,000 words. You have a very huge vocabulary. I think to be fluent is when you can flow like the water, like I said before, and give an answer. Even though if I know like 10, 20 phrases, for example, if you ask me, what's your name? Say Valentin. Where are you from? Dominican Republic. Do you speak English? Yes, I do. What do you like doing? Dancing, listening to music. I'm fluent.
Okay.
You
So
need
if you're able to simply answer
to
questions,
answer yes, and maybe to
different
talk
questions.
about things you like. Like I asked some of the teachers, and they said to be fluent is to talk about daily routines and normal life, what you every day do. It's not about talking. For example, it's not about talking geography, history, medicines. It's not about talking that, but to be fluent is like to have a simple English conversation in a simple daily life. That's for me fluent. Because then,
Okay.
for example, it's like when you go to school. If you want to talk about, I don't know, the American history, then you study. Or if you want to talk about some topics, then you study these topics and then you can talk about. But I mean, being fluent is like everyday, everyday conversation. That's for me. What do you think about?
Yes, I agree with you. I believe that you're fluent when you are able to have maybe extended conversations about a variety of topics. For example, I know that when I was taking classes, a lot of times I would speak about when I was first with a new teacher, the teacher would ask me general questions. They would ask me things like, just to try to get to know me. They would ask me things like, oh, what do you do for a living? What do you um, what how many kids do you have? Tell me about your family. So after a while, when you're meeting different people and I'm repeating these things, you're just able to, it just kind of flows out of your mouth, and you know how to say it without really thinking about it too much. But I think that, like, when you're able to do that with different topics, I think that that is probably what fluency is to me, in my opinion. Now, sometimes I kind of have, when I'm speaking in my own native language, sometimes I have to think about what I'm saying. So sometimes maybe fluency, I don't think is that you never make a mistake or you have to stop and think sometimes, because sometimes native speakers in their own language have to stop and think about what they're saying. So, or what they want to say to be able to express themselves. So I think fluency is just, you can have extended conversations about a variety of topics.
Variety of topics. I do agree.
Yes.
So, but then we have another thing. For example, I remember that I studied English and I had a Dominican teacher. You know, I'm from the Dominican Republic, so I had a Dominican teacher, and then I finished. I got a diploma, and then we could speak among us. So all the students we could speak. But then, for example, in those days, in the 1985, 1982, we didn't have like this kind of YouTube channel and WhatsApp and those kind of things, you know, to have different kind of conversation with different people around the world. But
Right.
then, when you wanted to listen to some American music or maybe watch native English speaker movies, we didn't understand anything. Why is the
Right.
problem? Why?
Well, I believe the problem is that sometimes, well, there are four areas of language learning. There's speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And I think sometimes you can be more advanced in one area than you are in another area. So you may be more of a fluent speaker than you are at understanding. So your level might not be equal in the two areas.
But
So,
that is a difficult situation because look, I'm listening to you and I do understand. But then can we have a communication if I speak and I don't understand? How do you think we could solve this problem? And what do you think is the best way to develop the understanding and then to speak, because that's part of the fluency. Because if I don't understand, it doesn't matter if I speak. What am I going to talk about?
well, from my experience, it seems like the really the way that you can develop your listening skills is by a lot of input, listening a lot. So there are different strategies you can use while you are listening to the spoken language, but you still have to. It still involves listening to the language. So I think that, I mean, there are different strategies. For instance, some people believe that, or not some people. One strategy is that you can maybe listen to the same, like for instance, if you listen to a video, you can listen to the same one over and over again. You can listen to it with subtitles, and maybe that can help your listening skills. And sometimes people believe that you listen to the same one over and over again. Some people believe that you listen to different audios. But no matter what strategy you use, your listening skills are only going to develop and improve with lots of input, lots of listening. You have to listen a lot. You have
But
to put in invest the time.
what do you think about this listen and over listening, listening and over listening? Do you think it's a good technique?
Well, this is the thing.
The same thing. What do you think about?
I believe that if you listen to well, this is for me. When I'm listening to something, I can't keep listening to the same thing over and over again because I get bored. But what I can do is I can listen to something and then come back a while later and listen to it again to see if after this time my listening has improved. I can evaluate my own skill by coming back and listening to it a second time or a third time or a fourth time. Now, maybe listening to it back to back, listening to it one time and listening to the same audio again may help. You will pick up on things that you didn't pick up on the first time. Um, I think after two times, I have to stop
Oh my
and
God. You know,
come back.
I can listen to over 20,000 times.
No, I actually, you say you can or you can't?
I can. Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and that's why, I told you I didn't know how to speak six languages. For example, now I know how to speak English well, and I listen to the same audio all the time till I master the audio. And
Oh,
that's what I'm trying to teach my students. Listen till you master. And I tell them all the time, you don't have to know a lot. What you need to do is little but well, good, deeply, learn deeply because I say every day we say good morning, good morning. You say good morning, and I say good morning every day. Hi, good morning. Every time I talk to you, Kim, how you say, hey, Valentin, how you doing? It's the same. So I think we have to master the same vocabulary, listen to the same vocabulary till you master because you've seen people learning English for a long time. And when they say, what's your name? They don't master this. And that is simple. And I think listening over and over and over and over, in my case, is the best way to learn a language. That's what I think.
okay. Yeah. And I think that that is a good method. If you don't, that is a good method to listen to the same audio over and over and over again. You'll pick up on different things. You'll pick up on more than you did the previous time. If you don't get bored, with me, I can listen to it. Let's say in Spanish, I can listen to it a few times, but then I have to stop and come back maybe later, and then I can listen to it more.
So, and then, oh, very good. So, what languages do you speak?
Well, I'll just say that I speak Spanish, just a foreign language, because I'm learning other languages, but I don't consider myself to have learned them yet.
Yeah,
So
you know
I'm still beginner.
and how long have you been learning Spanish?
I've been studying it for really decades but not consistently. Like I'll spend a period of time where when I first started in high school where I took a few classes. But in school, you only learn kind of the basics. Then after school and at college, I took a few more, and that was still just learning basics. After that, I would go through periods where I studied really hard, and then maybe for years I didn't study at all.
What
And
is
then I would
what is really hard for you? What do you mean really hard? When you say
studying really hard, meaning that I'm studying every day. Every day I'm putting in some time to try to study. I'm using a, one strategy or another. But I went through years where I would really focus on it, and then I would have a long time where I wasn't studying, and then I would start focusing again, and then a long time when I wasn't, which is probably why I probably would be a lot better if I had been consistent for a longer period of time.
yeah.
So
So what kind of Spanish do you speak? Mexican, Colombian, Venezuelan, Argentinian, Dominican Spanish. What kind of Spanish do you speak?
I don't know if I speak a certain kind of Spanish because I have had teachers from all different countries, a lot of different countries, but I am a bilingual teacher, and most of my students, the majority of my students are Mexican descent.
Yeah.
So I do hear things that they say a lot in Spanish, but really, I think that I've had so many teachers from different places. I don't know if I speak one kind.
Yeah, because it's like English. I mean, so we're talking about fluency, but it's the same like English. I think I speak standard English, and let's say you speak standard Spanish, the easy one. And what about your listening when you listen to Spanish movies? Is it paying from Spain, from Mexico? Do you find any kind of different when you're speaking? What do you understand most?
I think it's easier to understand Spanish from Spain.
Yeah.
For me, the accent, I don't know why, for me, the accent just seems easier for me. But it's difficult. But I think that my speaking skills are higher than my listening skills because still listening to movies is still difficult for me. I don't catch everything. So yes, my listening skills are definitely something that I need
Yeah, but
to
I don't think
sharpen.
we don't have to catch the 100%. But the idea, the main idea, for example, I'm a Spanish native speaker, and there is some kind of music here we call reggaeton. I
Right,
know that's difficult to understand. It's
right.
like a new language. Okay, Kim. Look, one more question now. So, what do you think now for people who are watching this video? The steps to follow to be fluent in English.
The steps to follow to be fluent. I think you need consistency. I think that you need to focus in on not just one area, so not only speaking or not only listening. I think that you need to focus on both areas in order to become fluent. And I think that you need a lot of you need a lot of input and you need to be consistent and find that strategy that works for you because different strategies work for different people. I think that everyone should find that strategy that works for them.
I got it. Well, I learned those languages, and I don't know how. I just learned like singing. I think it is a combination of everything. A combination, listening, speaking, reading, writing, listening to music, singing, watching movies. I don't know, talking to yourself. Like when you wake up in the morning, imagine I tell people if they want to learn English, like they need to learn like four phrases deeply every single day. For example, in Spanish, you say, Hola, buenos días, que tenga un feliz día. Hola, buenos días, que tengas un feliz día. And then, hola, buenas tardes. Hola, buenas noches. Feliz noche. Like you can spend a whole week saying, good morning, have a nice day, or today is a beautiful day. And after mastering these three phrases, you move to the next step. And then by listening to music or some kind of song related to this conversation, I think is a good way to learn. Do you think this is possible to learn a language like to speak in 3 months? You know these guys, Kale Anders. You know Kale Anders? You know him?
I don't know him.
Okay, he says that it is possible to learn English in 3 months, like to be fluent in 3 months. What do you think about?
I have a really hard time believing that. I have a really hard, I would have to see it to believe it. I don't know if it's possible in 3 months. I mean, if you put everything into, if you're spending a large amount of time studying every day,
24/7.
right. I would have to see it to believe it. I personally, it's hard for me to believe 3 months that you can just become fluent.
A lot of people love this idea. He became millionaires in dollar. He makes like a kind of English course, Rayo, and he
Okay.
says a lot of people has learned how to speak. A lot of people has learned how to speak the language in 6 months, in 3 months, and he make millions of dollars. And people do criticize him all the time because of this. That's what people say. I don't know, but maybe I think if the people could learn the language like I don't know the basic one in 3 months, right?
Yes, I think that for sure you can learn a lot in 3 months, but I wouldn't say it's enough to be considered fluent. But sure, you absolutely can learn a lot in 3 months if you invest a lot of the time and energy and you're consistent. You can learn quite a bit.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure enough to be considered fluent. I have a hard time with believing that part.
yeah, I know that. Well, so people, remember, if you want to be fluent and if you want to learn how to speak English or German, French, Italian, any other language, so King saying number one is,
Number one, well, you have to be consistent.
yeah, and then
Lots
listen, yeah, come on.
lots of input, lots of listening, and also you need to practice. You need the output. You need to speak as well.
Yes,
So you need a lot of practice.
and watch our videos. So La Morena, watch La Morena videos, watch English, Valentin English, listen to our videos, listen and repeat. Okay, people, that's it for today. How to be fluent from our own experience and our own experience, how we learn how to speak different languages. Subscribe to our channel. Anything you need, just let us know. We are here to help and leave your comments below. Would you like to say something in Spanish, Kim, before we leave?
Gracias por vernos y hasta la próxima vez.
Ok, chicos, entonces hasta la próxima. Suscríbanse al canal y pidan sus libros para que sigan aprendiendo inglés. Bye bye.